Hello there and welcome to the third video of this series. Last time we added different demons to Project Atlas, but today we will introduce a whole new concept, custom weather and time, and of course also a new class that lives deep in the forests. When you think about Minecraft's weather, it's quite boring. I mean, you have rain and well, no rain. The same also goes for the time, and there are no seasons. There is just so much to add. I figured that Project Atlas needs a new way to calculate time, so I wrote some methods to convert in-game time into real hours, minutes, days, years, you name it. Additionally, I also created some foundations for the future, where I will try to add new weather and most importantly, local weather. Apart from that, Minecraft got some interesting new features that I can play around with. For example, you can now change attributes of entities, like gravity, range, or even the scale. I figured that species may vary in scale, so I created a method that calculates everything that I need based on their scale. Smaller players are not able to reach as far, and vice versa. I also made the demons slightly bigger. That means they cannot pass through tight gaps anymore. And dwarves are finally real dwarves.
Rock and stone, brother!
Now let's look at the species that resides deep in the forest, cut off from all the other species. It is the elf. They are able to wield flora and fairy magic. As a result, I give them probably the weirdest key ability. They can eat leaves and well, I'm not gonna elaborate on what this is. Since they live in the forest, they have no regeneration cooldown in any forest biome and they freeze to death in cold biomes. Additionally, they regenerate mana faster around leaves and they are allergic to dark stones. Next up is the Dryad, the stronger and better version of the basic weak elf. Instead of relying on, yeah, you know what, they are able to heal teammates around them. They can collect so-called forest mana, a special power from the forest, and use it in battle to heal their mates around them. The buffs and debuffs are the same for the basic elf and the Dryad. This is where it gets more interesting. I talked about the custom time system earlier. How about something related to the current moon phase? I did some research and found out Minecraft has 8 moon phases that change every day. A full cycle takes 8 full in-game days. With that information, we can define a few moon phases and create a method to return the current phase based on what in-game time it is. A special type of elf is the Moonshade. Their ability depends on the current phase. The two extremes of the moon, new moon and full moon, provide different effects, and everything in between is a mix. New moon provides speed and invisibility even, but the full moon provides strength and resistance. The current moon phase is also displayed in the action bar to make it more clear, just like checking the weather online instead of looking outside. Since the moon is somewhat related to the water, I gave them no regeneration cooldown in water. They also have jump boost at high altitudes, slowness in sunlight, and they take damage in hot biomes. Currently, there is no class that is considered a tank, so I want to add one. This is the Guardian, the protector of nature. In the first video I talked about shields, an additional attribute that protects the real health before it gets destroyed. The Guardian uses this feature to his advantage by having a regenerative shield. This shield does not work at all in swamps, but it will regenerate faster in mountain or forest biomes. This means that they can be a really strong support class in battle. It is also for that exact reason why they have permanent slowness and some other small debuffs. What if I told you that someone could be living inside your walls? This is now possible with the Duskblader species. They look normal during daytime, but as soon as the moon rises, they shrink to the size of a tiny fairy, decreasing their range too. They are currently the only species that have specific timed phases throughout the day. The idea is that the Duskblader can attack at dusk, with strength and resistance. This phase only lasts for 1 or 2 minutes or so. After that, they shrink and need to escape. I did some simple code to calculate different phases of the day to make this work. Their mana regeneration will also be ramped up around leaves, and they freeze in cold biomes. Elves and fire generally don't mix, but there is one exception, the Imp. They lurk deep in the forest and don't like to show themselves, mostly living alone and in silence, but still evil in nature. If an enemy approaches them and gets too close, they can place down evil flames that have different properties. They can debuff the enemy or deal damage even. Placing down a flame only works on obsidian blocks, and they have a certain range where the effect is active. If an imp clicks on an existing flame, it will cycle to the next flame type until it reaches the last type, and then it will turn off. Because they are half demon, they have permanent fire resistance, and they don't like being in water. Let's get out of the forest and move into a completely different domain. High in the mountains is the habitat of the Skywatcher, a long-range elf class. Even though they could potentially turn a fight over to their side completely alone, their true nature only reveals itself when they fight in a team. When Skywatchers attack together, it's over for their target. Every Skywatcher can position themselves on a tactical spot, like high up in a mountain. They will then constantly scan for other Skywatchers in a 100 block radius. If there is another one of their kind, they share a connection and buff each other. The more Skywatchers connected to each other, the higher their buffs. Stuff like stronger and faster arrows and a 5 block hit radius, and even airstrikes are now real. Skywatchers are resistant against water and cold temperatures, so they can wander cold biomes without any issues. Cosplaying Widowmaker in the sky is not the only thing that elves are doing up there. This is the Stormbringer, a type of elf that can kinda control weather. Up to this point there is no custom weather, but I will make another video dedicated to custom weather, because it is quite complex, but it will also be a lot of fun. That's why for the moment, as a temporary measure, the Stormbringer will summon an additional lightning strike when dealing 10 damage or more. They prefer a wet environment, which means they can charge up their mana faster near water, but in a desert they will dry out. That's it for this episode. Now, I don't want to make another video just about the species, so maybe I'll change the format a bit next time. There are still almost 60 different species left to add, so I might as well make a longer video where I dive deeper into the code, especially since Project Atlas is much more than just the Origins mod as a Minecraft plugin. Bye bye.